Hey everyone, welcome to today's highlight. Ready to laugh out loud? He held on, but vomited in the west. Seeing this, Angelo's thirst for revenge faded. He forced Paul to drink liquor. Paulina was stunned. Those spies captured Paul's father had died before betraying his friend. Suddenly, a horse's neigh drew Angelo's notice. How funny. While rescuing Paul, Angelo's horse was spooked by gunshots and fled. Paulina soothed it to ease its nerves. Paulina was super brave, but she's not scared at all. He's sick of staying with these people and eager to escape the quarantine. Angelo agrees, but an army blocks the way. Subtitles. Angelo came up with a fantastic idea, yet Paulina appeared somewhat hesitant, saying, "Why on earth do you have to take us to Angelo?" And then they set off, with Paulina riding on Paul's horse. Angelo and Paulina crossed the creek, soon reached the checkpoint with about 20 guards. Angelo glanced toward the sun. He stepped forward to face the guards, bribing with cash, but they were determined to catch him. Then, clouds cleared. Glaring light splashed in the creek, making it even brighter. Angelo yelled for Paulina as he danced around the guards, and she cleverly slipped right after the two had escaped some distance. The guards raised their guns. The water's glare blinded them to the duo's location. Angelo and Paulina miraculously made it through and crossed the border without splitting up. She aimed to find her husband in Gap. Angelo was returning to Italy. Paulina didn't want to trouble him further, but he remained concerned for her safety, perhaps due to childhood teachings. Perhaps it was his inexplicable love for Paulina that made him insist on escorting her, yet she, being independent, refused to let him alter plans. To escort Paulina safely, Angelo altered his route. That night, they walked back past to avoid being found. Angelo skipped dinner, still worried about Paulina, and kindly took a thick blanket from his pack. Paulina's demeanor shifted from wariness to laughter. She wasn't always serious. Chatting with Angelo, she smiled charmingly. Next morning, crows circled nearby, and a fire flared beside Paulina. While Angelo went to fetch water, a sudden gunshot startled him. He rushed back only to find Paulina trembling from a crow scare. She cried out in fright, and Angelo rushed to console her, but in less than a few seconds she regained her composure. Still, the hearts had already begun to feel a stir for each other, and this anxious yet awkward moment left the usually composed Paulina quite. Afterward, Angelo tended to her wounds and went all DIY with the disinfecting. Gradually, Paulina felt her attraction to Angelo grow. Later, they galloped through the grasslands and ran into an old man, who looked quite flustered at the sight of strangers. The old man said hurriedly, "Don't get too close. Don't fear. Listen, I hear you." Nervously, he continued, "Well, the road is over there, you know, right on that big road." Eventually, they learned the old man was a country doctor, and Angelo bought 2 bottles of herbal medicine from him. Chatting with the old man in the grasslands, Angelo asked him about the route, while Paulina fell into deep thought. Suddenly, when the old man mentioned Mondier, Paulina perked up. Her husband was a marquis. They lost contact before all the chaos. Paulina stayed at her aunt's house waiting to reunite with her husband, but that endless waiting made her aunt heard that the mayor who worked with her husband was in Mondier. Paulina decided to ask for information. In the end, Angelo generously hired the old man. Guided by the old man, Paulina reached the mayor's house. Upon saying she was the marquis' wife, everyone in the room cheered. But when they learned Paulina was from Manosque, the atmosphere turned as tense as a tightrope. Soon after, the mayor hurried in, informing them that Paulina's husband had headed to Manosque 10 days ago. It was like a thunderbolt out of a clear. Paulina couldn't imagine what her husband was going through now. Earlier, she dreamt he was struck by the plague, and guilt washed over her. Handtat 2 circumflex Arabic letter 678 Ostruk 3 Omat Etho Hangeltier Rin Ogov Grov times L 2 times A tilde Cyrillic letter 4 ABs Isadilla acute. Before she left the mayor's residence, someone came with Shabin to block her. Luckily, the mayor helped, enabling Angelo and Paulina to flee. Under moonlight, they walked till next morning. Angelo woke in a house. Paulina panicked, eager to rush to disaster-hit Manosque. Angelo held a different opinion from her approach, so he followed closely behind her in an attempt to prevent her from doing so. Ultimately, Paulina remained resolute, in her decision, leaving Angelo no choice but to quietly follow along. But Paulina didn't get far before the local military surrounded her, and she was taken into a quarantine zone filled with infected refugees. Soldiers frequently came and went, carrying bodies, and just when she felt hopeless, Angelo, who was supposed to return to Italy, suddenly she, bearing the rank of colonel, forced into the quarantine to find Paulina. Soldiers arranged a spacious area for them. In this moment, Paulina was stunned. The armor's welcome made her guilty. Angelo's arrival moved her greatly. Angelo's self-sacrifice only deepened Paulina's gratitude. Once he entered, she started plotting their escape. Yet, Paulina had lost all hope, convinced there was no way to escape the quarantine. But Angelo's bravery left her dumbfounded. That very night, when everyone was in a deep slumber, Angelo seized the opportunity to ignite the hay. As the fire continued to rage and spread uncontrollably, people rushed towards the exits in panic, and upon witnessing this scene, the guards were compelled to open the doors. In the ensuing chaos, Angelo sneaked Paulina out of the quarantine zone. After a long trek, they finally reached the mountaintop. Near the marquee land, Paulina sought luck. Crossing the forest, a sudden storm caught them unawares. Nearby, they found an abandoned manor, hoping to rest until the rain passed. Inside, Angelo lit a fire and dug up some wine from the cellar. This was Paulina's old home, so she was relaxed, donning the hostess dress, same as their first meeting. However, the dress left Angelo restless all night, as if a desire he couldn't control surged within him.